home, then it means that they may have what it takes to do well in the semi-finals. And one thing I admire about the Mfantsipim team is their composure. This year, we've seen some schools lose contests against big schools because they lacked composure when it was needed most. We've seen the likes of St. John's Grammar losing composure at the riddles against St. Augustine's. We've seen Osei losing composure against Pesco when the contest went to a tiebreaker. But Mfantsipim, even though at the end of the fourth round, they were second and the points were very close, they maintained composure. Just other schools will pick the riddles, get them wrong, and they'll take time to listen through all the clues to give a right answer. And I think that's made it for them. And I'm glad they are.
A lot of people in the auditorium, I'm pretty sure they were not even tipping Mfantsipim, so they were able to sail through to the next stage. What do you also make of the first contest?
So it's actually a great contest, even though maybe it was making the whole contest a bit boring for we that were in the auditorium. But
it was quite slow in the beginning.
Yeah, but I think that going to the final stages, we all enjoyed how things shaped. 10 people, 9, or even I can tell you that 10 out of 10 will tell you that no chance for Mfantsipim. Came in with a contestant who has the experience. He has been doing this since, if I remember very well, since last year.
Yeah, that's Anthony.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's been doing so well right from, their first contest in the prelims. They came up against Sacred Heart Senior High School and also English Shaman from who they were making their debut, national appearance in the championship. And that particular contest, Aquinas did so well in that. But one time the contest, I was having a conversation with one of our editors and I told him that, yes, Aquinas has what it takes to get to the semi-final or even get to the quarter-final, even as they going ahead. You can't be performing at force, it's not really strong. Yeah. And of Prempeh College, and even Our Lady of Grace, they won't give you that chance, room for you to do whatever that you want to do. So they were it was a bit up a category C school quarter-final. They were in Port C. Yeah. In Port B. Who the last time they made it to the semi, in their trophy drought, the last time they won, coming in with an experienced guy, everybody thought that, they are going to do so well. That really wasn't the case. They had to lose to a category C school. After the contest, we engaged the students, the headmaster of Mfantsipim Senior High School, and they tell us that we actually need to come to them and let people know what really is happening in that school. Because they don't have the facilities. The environment that they find themselves in does not even show that they can even come to the National Science and Maths squeeze and accept people. But today they did it. And they've been able to get to the semi-final for the first time in their history, which is quite historic for them.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's an interesting one. But we've been talking about Mfantsipim and the other schools that competed. Let's talk about the questions. I know a lot of whilst we were in the auditorium, like the first round, they were not getting the answers correctly.
That's not even.
Is it that they didn't come to the auditorium prepared or what? What do you think about the questions, though?
I think these are standard quarter-final questions. So if you kind of struggle with these questions, then it means you are not ready for the semi-finals. But if you look at the second contest, you could see that the students could answer those questions more than what we witnessed in the morning. Yeah. So I think they all had a shaky start. And one thing the consultants are doing this year that in my opinion, is a good thing is that, you see, ever since the speed race started, students are so used to past questions that the quiz mistress can start a question and the students can continue and all that. So today, I think the quiz mistress started a question and the student tried to guess and the quiz mistress said that if you had gotten it right, it would have been a miracle. So this year, the competition will go well for people who are able to keep their composure. Because you would think the quiz mistress is talking about this question, something you've heard in the past questions, but in the end, there will be a little change in the end, which might change the answer. In one of the riddles, National College mentioned sodium hypochlorite. This sodium hypochlorite, the series of clues were similar to what was used in 2023 when Opoku School met Osei Senior High School at the quarterfinals. And the answer was sodium hypochlorite that was able to push Opoku School to the semi-finals of that competition. So when they started listening to the clues, they thought sodium hypochlorite. So this thing has been in effect this year, and I think it's the best. It's trying to level the playing ground for all the other schools. So I think we are not getting very high marks because one, for a normal quarterfinals, you have 12 questions in round one, but this year it is 8. We don't know why it is 8. And the second thing is that because we've had very good students who are able to predict the next values and to predict, so you are likely to get it wrong. If you get it right, fine, but for most of the time, I can confidently say that you get it wrong. So I think this is also adding up to why schools do well at the riddles. In their prelims, they answered 4 out of 4 riddles. They answered all the riddles. But the thing is that riddles doesn't work like that, especially for the riddles and true or false. If we are not able to open a gap at the end of round 2, then it becomes a very tight or keen contest for you or to formulate for another school to pick it as bonus. So yeah, I think that is the bit for St. Thomas Aquinas, but I think the questions now and together with
right after the contest, when we were speaking to the headmaster, he talked about how under-resourced they are, even their science laboratories and all that. For their students to make it to this stage, especially the students are, that's what he was saying, because he's saying that they are really under-resourced when it comes to that. And I'm pretty sure you went to Kumasi and you might have seen some of these things.
Well, I've not had the privilege to be in their school, but looking at where they are coming from, Ahafo, Ano North, in the Ashanti region, we can clearly tell the situation really there, even on social media right after the...
Well, I schooled in Kumasi, so I had a privy to know those schools in Carrier, Mankranso, and all those schools.
Yeah. So it looks like people they couldn't get to the semi-final, but they came up against equally good schools in there who are doing well in the national championship, or they did well in the championship. But in the prelims and 1A2, you can't take anything away from them. They did well. They actually eliminated Adisadel school. And coming in, everybody thought that, yes, they can't do anything. But does the resource really matter? It does. Then, what really helped them, that's determination and hard work from the students, are ready to sacrifice everything to make history for themselves as individuals and also as a school. Yeah. And they are also determined to ensure that they will use this particular stage to let everybody know that there is Mankranso Senior High School out there, that they are Category C school, and not just Category C school, but they lack the resources. So if they get the resources, they are going to do more than what the B schools, the category them. Because it's not an easy thing for him to access that behind cameras, that we should come in and even have a documentary on them for people to know what is happening in Mankranso. On social media, those that have been to Mankranso Senior High School before have been talking in. Yeah. They don't have any auditorium, even they are prepared for the contest. But they've done it. They didn't do it against any other team, former champions, who were chasing a dream that they wanted to end their title drought. And
Ghana National, Mankranso, SHS, and St. Thomas semi-final stage. Now, let's talk about the second contest. That ended in tears. I mean, premium tears. It's not like tears. It ended in tears literally for especially the 8-time champions, because at the end of the contest, we saw that some of them were actually crying. And that was between GSTS, the Giant, Our Lady of Grace, that is a private school, and of course, the 8-time champions, Presbyterian Boys Secondary School. Now, the miss, Steve, what happened? Like, what's happening today?
Oh, for me, I've seen this before. Last year, Opokwari School against Ghana National versus Ebri Presby SHCS. At the end of round 2, Opokwari School are leading with 19 points. End of 2 of answer the first schedule, and only for Darius of Ghana National College to answer the 3 riddles to beat Opokwari School by competition started, were acting as if they had little to no hope in the boys. But after their very first contest, and even how this contest started, they started quite strongly in this particular contest. Now that they've lost, they are now trying to pull their Inform 2 card. The only difference is that he wasn't on stage in first year, but he was on stage last year and this year. We've seen a lot of Form 2s come back in their 3rd years to do worse than they did when they were in Form 2. I think the only Form 2 student to do that and actually win is Eden of Prempeh College. But Presec is Presec, and you could see that the Form 2s had a lot up their sleeve. They were very knowledgeable. They are very, very good, especially with their calculations. They actually went head-to-head with Our Lady of Grace, who had done extremely well in the Ashanti region, and GSTS, who are Western Regional Champions, also featuring a Form 2 student who was a contestant last year. It looked like they had the semi-final in their grabs, only for it to be snatched away from them by Ghana Second Technical School during the riddles. Regardless, I think they put up a very impressive performance, and there are higher hopes that they watch now that in the third year you do extremely well. But this is Presbyterian boys, they've won it 8 times. They have all the bragging rights. So when they say something, I don't think you can debate it. But looking at the training they put in place, because it takes a lot of training, consistency, and effort to win the National Science and Maths Quiz 8 times. Winning by center. So
yeah.
To have an AI center, that's what they are saying.
So I'm sure they are going to utilize all that at their disposal to do extremely well next year.
All right, before we continue, let me quickly acknowledge our sponsors again. The 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with God PLC, On Air, Kivo Gari, Spin City, Lord Romat, Coronation Insurance, Secure Sanitary Pad, Accra College of Medicine, Academic City, University, Belbert, Vita Milk, Virtual Security Africa, Ayuda Hub, Synthesis Tanks, Chobos Technology, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Achimota Retail Center, DBS Industries Limited, Palm University College, Beta Malt, Dormaster, Slam Technologies, Academic City University, and Family Health Medical School. Now, team, real quick before we wrap up, you watching right now, as I said, there's a brief hold up regarding this evening's contest that is featuring Mfantsipim School, that is the reigning champion, Prempeh College. Information from the organizers. But I mean, before we wrap up, finally, this contest that we're about to have, or the next
Prempeh College and Adisadel College, on any day, that's supposed to be a final. Yeah, the contest. So yeah, I am expecting a contest where each of the schools will give up their best. Will give out their best. Adisadel coming in the regionals for 8-2. You know, they've been saying a lot of things about Mfantsipim that they don't think they are good enough. Yeah, after their 1/8 contest, we've been speaking to some of them, and their message is the fact that they are just here to make noise for Joy News. They know that they are going into the final, so they are just following the formality.
They actually said we should interview them in the final competition.
Right. So they don't have anything to lose because they are going into the final. Prempeh College is also coming in. I wasn't really impressed with their performance in the Ashanti Regional Qualifiers, not qualifiers, championship, because they were a senior school, so they didn't take part in the qualifiers. But they came up against OLAC, Kumasi Academy, and they were third in that particular contest. OLAC to win that particular contest. Then they came in the national championship and posted, I think, 75 points in that their prelims. Prepared, experienced that they want to win this particular contest. They want to move ahead and accept Prempeh, Presec, who won it in 2008, 2009, and came back to defend in 2022, 2023. The only school to do back-to-back twice.
All right. Now let me briefly, Stephen. Finally, your take on this, the last contest we are set to have.
I think it's going to be a very tight contest, and based on history, he's met Mfantsipim School 4 times. They've won twice, and Bochetu has won twice, but Adisadel hasn't been able to win against Prempeh College. And looking at the height prepared as compared to Mfantsipim School and Prempeh College. But once again, Prempeh College is Prempeh College. Even in years that they didn't do so well in their regionals, with the 82 they had in their prelims, have given them a certain morale or boost, motivation that they can actually beat. I'm sure they would want to do that, even though their very first contest didn't go as planned. But all in all, I think we are going to have a very good contest. It's going to be a keenly contested one. You should expect a lot. I can tip any school to win this particular contest.
All right, sure. Thank you very much. As I said, there's a brief hold-up regarding tonight's contest. We'll get more details from the organizers, but there are a lot of supporters in the SGS auditorium and also outside the auditorium. We are yet to find out more from the organizers. Over to you back in the studio.
The growing threat of cybercrime has become an unescapable reality. In 2025 alone, with small and medium businesses disproportionately targeted. Cyber threats have become increasingly sophisticated, widespread, and invisible, placing unequipped organizations at risk of massive damages in a matter of seconds. Meet Virtual InfoSec Africa, Ghana's Tier 1 certified managed security service provider. Our AI-driven managed security services empower businesses with faster, smarter, and more proactive cyber protection. We don't just monitor threats. We predict, prevent, and respond 24/7. At Virtual InfoSec Africa, we deliver bold and whether you're a startup or a national institution, our services scale with your needs. We offer digital forensics and incident response, and predictive analysis and threat hunting. From endpoint protection to dark web forensics, we secure every layer of your digital ecosystem. Why wait for a breach to act? Join the ranks of high institutions who trust Virtual InfoSec Africa to secure their future. Start your 3-month free trial of our early warning threat intelligence platform today. Visit our website at www.
Chopbox, a convenient service.
In Ghana, West Africa, the mornings are somewhat, if not for the perfect companion. What a good day to start. Another day. It's always smiles knowing we are together. Ooh, what a feeling. With NASCO, you're there for family. If you not be you, then who go there? Work is always effective with NASCO home appliances. No wahala if the sun is up. We there for your appetite. Never a dull moment to gulp something chilled. Classic home appliance for the fisher folks. Good vibes only while you wait. The feeling hits very deep. And NASCO fie. NASCO, bring home happiness.
When your appliances fail, your reputation follows.
Why you carry my tomatoes too again?
To Burkina Faso, to Kobnes house, of course. His blender doesn't sound like dying goods.
Every day, Kobnadis, Kobnada. Should I call him to marry you too?
Thank you.
How come your things know they break? How you they manage your house?
Simple. Ayuda. It's an app. You just click and they send you trusted artisans and professionals for all your emergency fixes at home and in an office.
Good morning, sir. I get your request. I see your AC they do skrekpa and the fan there it they sleep. That's why I came here to bring peace into your house, eh? You be half guy, wa. You get all the plots. I wish I get your DNA so.
Oh, you can even request to do a DNA test on Ayuda.
Hey, services be free.
Download the Ayuda app now on Play Store and App Store.
9421, GoTV 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Caloni.
And I'm Faustina Safa. Tonight, Special Prosecutor Kisi Jabeng to charge former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, 2 former bosses of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and several others in cooking what he describes as sweet deals for Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and corruption-related acts.
Also tonight, parliamentary proceedings are nearly brought to a halt after minority raised the issues with quorum as absenteeism continued to rock Parliament. We'll tell you how that was resolved.
Also tonight, some have called it the El Clasico of the National Science and Maths Quiz at Adisadel College, Mfantsipim School, and Prempeh College clash at the quarterfinals any moment from now after the Ghana Secondary School.
And we have Prime Business.
It talks about the fact that it is important data is included if Ghana football is to improve.
Well, this is Joy News. We are a home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism.
Please stay for details.
Grateful for your time here on Joy News Prime. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor says it will charge former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and other high-profile individuals by the end of November 2025 over the alleged involvement in the controversial Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Adisadel also are former senior officials of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division, executives and persons connected to automatic payment running into billions of cedis to the company despite little to no evidence of work done. According to the Special Prosecutor, the charges will be comprehensive and based on months of forensic analysis, including data retrieved from computer
persons with various corruption and corruption-related offenses before the end of November 2025. 1. Kenneth Nanayao Ofori-Atta, former Minister of Finance. 2. Ernest Akori, Chef de Cabinet to Kenneth Nanayao Ofori-Atta as Minister of Finance. 3. Emmanuel Kofinti, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 4. Adisadel Owusu-Amoah, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue and General Manager of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. 6. Kwejo Damwa, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and Member of Parliament for Jam and South constituency. As part of the process, the OSP will seek to recover the financial loss caused to the Republic from the persons listed above.
Ordered SML to refund 125 million Ghana cedis to the state. The amount, he said, represents an unjust enrichment derived from automatic payments that were not judgment of unjust enrichment, which were monies SML received automatically from the Ghana Revenue Authority between 2018 and 2024 without verifiable performance under its revenue assurance contract. Now, the payment the OSP found tense.
Also, the OSP will recover a total amount of 125 million cedis from SML by way of a disgorgement of unjust enrichment of overpayment by the return of the benefit of this amount it obtained unfairly at the expense of the Republic. This amount was arrived on 2 considerations. First, the participation of SML in the public revenue assurance regime was based on largely undeserved automatic payments detached from performance. Second, of implied contract or quasi-contract to ensure that the person who conferred a benefit on another received compensation, even when no valid contract existed. That fairness sometimes required payment even without an enforceable agreement. In the present context, the OSP configured a doctrine in respect of adjusting the fair value of the investments made by SML in pursuance of performing its obligations under the various contracts, even where the contracts were procured unlawfully and even where services were minimally performed or not performed at all, on the back of SML's reasonable expecting public officials who represented ostensible authority and statutory and regulatory compliance to that private company. The investments include the setting up and maintenance of 2 offices by SML, one in Accra and the other in Tema, the hiring of employees, the payment of employees' salaries and attendance statutory payments, the acquisition of vehicles, the acquisition of and installation of ultrasonic meters and automatic tank gauges, and the procurement of a transaction value assessment system, TVAS.
Away from that, a fire has razed the entire China City Mall in Kumasi, destroying the mall structure, goods stocks at the facility. The mall is located at Santasi and was only opened in 2005, selling all kinds of goods, including home accessories and groceries. It's unclear what ignited the inferno as firefighters worked to douse the flames and subsequently identify the cause. Joining us now for more on this is Emmanuel Bradquego.
As we speak now, when we're leaving, as we indicated, there was a bit of a challenge in accessing water to the place, and so the fire tenders had to move out the fire. But as we were leaving, there were still some pockets of fire within the facility, and also because the firefighters were putting in frantic or go within the facility itself, and so they were not able to douse the fire completely. That facility to ensure that the structure, the debris of the devastation will be pulled down. In fact, their firemen to enter the premises, the debris of the fire devastation, and so for them, we are waiting for the facility. We've tried so much to speak with them, but because they were visibly distraught and they didn't want to engage the media, consumed by this devastating fire.
And then so far, has the fire service given any hint as to the cause of the inferno?
As we speak now, they have not been able, because we earlier indicated that the fire started at the backside. As I was leaving the scene, the fire was still within that area. So they have not been able to get. We do not have any preliminary cause, or let's say the actual cause of the fire.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel Bright.
With quorum. Parliament has been continuously rocked with absenteeism, with the Speaker warning MPs yesterday if they fail to show up for work, the floor. Deputy Minority Whip Habib Idrisu took notice and raised the issue.
To Constitution, to media houses carried it, that if we are not serious to continue business, we shouldn't let Ghanaians think safe. And at the moment, out of 276, we are only 70 stated in Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution.
MP for Tamale North and Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Al-Hassan Suhini, took issue with the minority raising issues of quorum when there were only a handful of NPP MPs on the floor.
I think that it is a huge indictment on the leadership of the House, especially my brother, who is also the Chief Whip, the Deputy Chief Whip, the Deputy Whip of the minority side. When I look on their side, I do not see their members present, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the facts, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the facts, Mr. Speaker, the facts that they enjoy as leaders is to ensure that they also, especially as whips, they ensure that their members are present. Mr. Speaker, this House is not made up of only majority members of Parliament. This House is made up of 2 parties, and we expect that our numbers be present, but we also expect that the minority that have also been voted to represent their constituency, that he's not able to whip his side to be on the floor, and he's advertising it the way he's doing.
Well, the majority chief whip sought to explain why the attendance has been poor.
Yesterday we did business, government